In today's fast-paced world, we're always on the go, aren't we? Our minds never seem to stop running, and our desires, oh, they're endless, like a river that never runs dry. With everything that demands our attention, it's easy to forget the simple, beautiful joy of just being. So, maybe it's time to hit the reset button. Time to remember that the now, the present moment, is all we truly have. Nothing more. Let's make this moment, this now, the center of our lives. One way to tap into that is through mindful walking. Next time you're rushing from point A to point B, take a step back. Really see and listen, not through the filter of your busy thoughts, but with fresh eyes, as though you're seeing the world for the very first time. Forget the constant noise in your head. Stop labeling everything you see and feel. Just let it be. We're so used to putting things into boxes. This is good, that's bad. We judge ourselves. We judge others. We crave certainty, don't we? A clear yes or no, like or dislike. And what do we get? Conflict, drama, the relentless tug of war between what we think is right or wrong, what we want versus what we fear. But here's the kicker. It's all just a habit we can break. If we let go, and here's the magic, it doesn't take any effort. Nope, nothing. All we have to do is allow the moment to be as it is. That's it. No need to fix anything, no need to change anything. Just be. In that moment of pure acceptance, something shifts. You tap into a part of you that's been hiding underneath all the noise, the quiet, peaceful core that's been waiting for you to notice. When you stop judging the world, when you stop labeling what's good or bad, you find a deeper peace within yourself. Your happiness isn't tied to external circumstances anymore. You don't need to make sense of everything. You just are. And in that being, there's freedom. True, unshakable freedom. In this video, we're going to dive into this transformative journey of letting go. Let's explore how surrendering to the present moment, freeing ourselves from the need to understand, can open the door to true peace. There's a calmness that arises when we let life unfold the way it's meant to, without interference. So, take a deep breath, and let's explore what it really means to be free. In our search for peace, joy, and freedom, we often find ourselves tangled up in attachments. Our minds grip onto thoughts, desires, and expectations, weaving a web that keeps us from the simplicity of just being. But what if we could untangle that web? What if we could let go of all the things that keep us stuck and simply embrace the present? In this moment of release, we uncover a profound truth. Peace, joy, and freedom don't come from the things we cling to. They come when we stop holding on so tightly. Attachment is like a heavy chain, weighing us down with the constant need for external validation. We believe our happiness depends on things, specific outcomes, possessions, relationships. But here's the kicker. This chase, it's like running after a shadow. You'll never quite catch it. The harder you chase, the further it slips away. But what if there's another way? What if the key to peace lies in embracing the simplicity of being? It starts with understanding that everything is fleeting. Nothing stays forever. And when we let go of our attachments to the temporary, we make room for something beautiful. We let life's mysterious dance unfold, and suddenly, we're not controlling the rhythm anymore. We're dancing in tune with the universe. So, take a breath. Relax your grip, and let's walk this path together. It's a journey of liberation, a release from the weight of expectations, and a step towards the freedom that's always been there, waiting for you to notice. On this journey, one thing we can't escape is that nonstop chatter in our heads. It's like a hamster wheel of thoughts, judgments, and interpretations, running endlessly, never giving us a moment's peace. But what if, just what if, we could step back for a second? Like an observer in a crowded room and watch this mental whirlwind without getting caught up in it? See, the key is to witness those thoughts with a sense of detachment. It's like standing on the shore of a wild, raging ocean without diving in. By doing this, we can free ourselves from the storm inside our minds and open ourselves up to something deeper, wisdom that goes way beyond our limited, chaotic thinking. And you know what happens when we do that? We stumble upon something amazing. We find the beauty of simply being here, the art of living in the moment without running around like a headless chicken. We connect with life itself, not just the daily grind, but the essence of existence. It's like suddenly seeing the richness of each breath, each second, with new eyes. This moment, the eternal now, has always been and will always be complete. It doesn't need fixing. There's no need to overanalyze. Life doesn't need us to interpret it. All it asks is that we let it flow, let it unfold naturally, without interference from our restless thoughts. And when we do that, that's when we find serenity, a peace that makes no sense, and yet is the most real thing we'll ever know. Here's the tricky part, though. Most of our suffering and sadness comes from the idea that every thought we have is gospel. We get trapped in believing that the stories our minds spin about life are the absolute truth, but it's not the situations themselves that mess with our heads. It's our interpretation of those situations that creates discontent. When we finally realize this, that's when the magic starts. We stop identifying with our thoughts. We realize we're not just the noise in our heads. We're the stillness beneath it, the calm that's been there all along, waiting for us to notice. And that's where we find freedom. That's where we find who we really are. Beyond the thoughts, beyond the stories we've told ourselves. In this life, there's a deep invitation. It's like a soft whisper, calling us out of the shadows of the past and the future, asking us to step into the warm embrace of the present. That's where true liberation lives, hidden away in the simplicity of now. It's a place where we're free from the ego's constant need to control and label everything. The ego. That loud, persistent voice that tells us we're separate, that we need more, that we need to grasp at everything to feel whole. It's so caught up in seeking things outside of us, it forgets about the well of peace and energy that's already inside. The ego is like a kid who thinks the world revolves around its toys, oblivious to the deeper, quieter magic in the background. But when we let go of that incessant need to overthink, something incredible happens. It's like a fog lifting, and suddenly, the world becomes clearer. Our minds stop labeling everything, trying to make sense of it all. And in that space, we awaken to the rawness of life, the aliveness of each moment, unfiltered and untamed. In that moment, we no longer define ourselves by complicated labels or mental constructs. We stop dragging the weight of unnecessary thoughts around, and in that lightness, life becomes so much richer. We see it as it is, simple, beautiful, and free. When we finally get the hang of living in the present, it's like we break free from all those self-imposed walls the ego keeps throwing up. We stop chasing after the next thing or waiting for approval and start connecting with something deeper, our true selves. It's like we realize that fulfillment doesn't come from outside us. It's not in some shiny trophy or a stamp of approval from the world. True satisfaction comes from being at home with ourselves, right here, right now, and that's where the magic happens. By fully sinking into the present moment, we tap into this endless well of peace, joy, and authenticity that's always been there, quietly waiting for us to notice. But let's be real, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Living in the now takes some serious inner work. You can't just snap your fingers and get there. It requires tuning in, really listening to the soft whispers of the present moment. It means waking up to what's going on around you and inside you, and bringing your awareness to every little breath you take. It's like when you tune your guitar to the right pitch. Suddenly, everything starts to sound just right. And that's when you begin to sync up with life, feeling that sweet rhythm of existence moving through you. Now, here's the kicker: letting go of the ego's grip. Yeah, that's not a walk in the park. It means saying goodbye to the need for outcomes, for labels, for holding on to control like it's a life raft in a storm. Instead, you're asked to trust. Trust that life's got a rhythm, a flow, and you're just here to ride the wave. And you know what happens when we do that? We find freedom. Real freedom. The kind that breaks the chains of fear, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Suddenly, we don't need to be special. We don't need to stand out. We become just ordinary, and it's more than enough. In fact, it's perfect. Take meditation, for example. The whole point isn't to be perfect or to have some deep spiritual epiphany every time you sit down. No. The magic is in the stillness, the space between the thoughts, between the words. The biggest win in life might just be the ability to shut up for a minute and be still. That's where wisdom comes in. It's in the quiet, in the silence. No need to fill the space with more noise. And when we let that silence in, that's when we really start to hear, not just the world around us, but that inner intelligence, the wisdom that's always been within us. All we need to do is listen. Let that calmness guide your words and actions, and watch how everything falls into place. In those quiet moments, we remember who we truly are. Not just this body or this mind, but the essence that was here before we took on this form, and will be here when it all fades away. The imperfection of everything. It's just part of the story. It's all okay, as it is. Here's the twist, though. When we finally stop demanding things from life, everything just clicks. People, places, situations. They all become just what they need to be. Peaceful, serene, harmonious. It's almost like the universe was waiting for us to finally let go before it showed us how beautifully everything fits together. Sometimes, there's no answer that'll satisfy the question, no explanation that'll hit the spot. And you know what? That's okay. In fact, it's almost like the universe is inviting you to dive deeper, to embrace the unknown and sit with the mystery that just can't be understood by our tiny little minds. It's in those moments that we're meant to let go of trying to figure everything out and just be. It's like you're standing at the edge of something vast, where your mind can't quite grasp what's on the other side. Maybe life feels a little hollow, like everything's spinning out of control. Maybe someone comes to you, lost and in pain, and you have no clue how to help. And that's when the magic happens. When you let go of needing to know, when you stop fighting the urge to fill in the blanks, something shifts. The moment you admit, I don't know, you make room for something bigger, something wiser to step in. It's like opening the door for a guest you didn't expect but whose presence brings light to the room. Suddenly your mind gets a little clearer, and ideas flow in, fresh and unexpected. So, yeah, being okay with not knowing is crucial. That's where the good stuff starts to emerge. When you stop resisting and just let things unfold, you tap into a kind of awareness that's way faster than our human brains can handle. It's like this powerful current rushing through you, guiding you, without effort. And when that happens, things start to click, inside and outside of you. It's like you're no longer the one steering the ship, but instead, you're letting the current of life take you where you need to go. The ego, the part of you that's always pushing for control, it steps aside, making way for a higher force to take over. This is what they mean by right action in Buddhism, when everything aligns, not because you tried to force it, but because you got out of the way. But here's the catch. Before that alignment can happen, you have to let go of who you think you are. You've got to stop holding on so tightly to your thoughts, your feelings, your identity. When you do, you make space for a kind of wisdom that's timeless. Take a moment right now. Notice how your mind is always labeling things, putting everything into boxes, making judgments. And honestly, it's exhausting, right? That constant need to label, to classify, is what creates all the noise and pain. But if you just step back for a second and watch your mind do its thing, you break free from that cycle. Suddenly, the present moment is just here. No judgments, no labels, just what it is. And in that space, you catch a glimpse of something deeper, an inner peace that's not dependent on anything outside of you. It's peace without strings attached. And here's the secret. When you accept this moment as it is, without trying to change it, without needing to understand it, you unlock a transformation. The self you've been clinging to starts to shift. You stop identifying with the reactions, the thoughts, the judgments, and instead, you become the space around them. You're no longer tied to the stories your mind spins. So here's what I want you to do: just observe and listen. No thinking, no judgment, just be still and allow the moment to unfold. In that stillness, you open yourself to a deeper awareness, one that's free from all the noise. And in that space, life just is. As we wrap up this video, I want you to think about what it means to let go of the ego, to make room for the universe's greater intelligence to work through you. If this message resonated with you, I'd love it if you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Share this with anyone who might need to hear it, and drop a comment below letting me know what you think. Thanks for being here, and take care. See you soon.